Hi everybody, I'm Kevin and you've reached episode 1 of the series I'm doing about hot tenting on a budget, where I cover my complete A to Z journey as a beginner hot tenter, right from receiving the equipment, checking it out, setting it up, making all the mistakes I'm gonna make, testing it, right to my final excursion with a hot tent somewhere, wherever that's gonna be. So I thought some of you might find that interesting. If you're an experienced hot tenter, by all means, please leave a comment down below about any tips or tricks or anything you see that I could be doing better. It helps me, it helps others who might read the comments as well. So the first episode here is about the tent. I've got it right here in the box. I got it the other day. I'm gonna open it up, make sure everything's there, have a look at it, take it outside, set it up, and see what it looks like. So I got a 4-person teepee tent. So I chose this particular brand because of the research I've done. Honestly, it was mostly on Amazon, but the reviews on Amazon are really awesome. You can find some really good stuff. Also, some reviews on YouTube as well, because guys are actually out testing it out. I was originally gonna get an 8-person tent that had a 16-foot radius. And so one of the things I considered when I was buying this was the footprint. So when you're out in the woods, finding 16 feet might be a little tough. So I did go down to 13 because one of the things is that Joanna comes camping with me, and we want to have some room for 2 cots and everything. Let's open this up and then I'll talk about what brand I got and everything like that. One of the things I want to say about this is I did receive this. It was open here, so hopefully everything's okay in the tent. Wasn't a reissue or anything like that. That's always the worst. Looks like it's good, it's nice and sealed and everything. So it's got a nice little bag. So this is by a brand called Pre-Self. They are one of the less expensive brands on Amazon. I'll leave a link down in the description if you want to go have a look. And you know, going cheap isn't always the best thing in the world, but sometimes, you know, you can find good, cheap equipment. And again, I'm brand new to this, so I'm not gonna go buy a $2,000 hot tent because I could turn out that I hate it. I'm probably not gonna hate it. This is supposed to be 5.5 pounds, so that's good. So I've heard that these tent pegs are pretty flimsy. They don't feel too bad. In the winter time, I don't know how they'd be, but actually they don't feel too bad. If you were to hammer these into a hard ground, I'm sure they would bend. They don't feel that durable, but they don't feel as bad as I thought they were either. So I've got the tent poles here. I just want to check everything out. We will set this up after, but I just want to make sure that you know, everything's good before I take it outside in case I have to send it back. I would send it back anyways if I took it outside, but just checking it all out. The stove jack here. I guess this is a guide to cut it with, I suppose. I'm not sure exactly what this is. I don't see any instructions, so I'll be figuring it out. I didn't realize that the hole was already cut for this, but that works for me. I don't really care. And it looks like it's got a little thing here. It's got a little flap here. I'm not sure what that's for, but it could be to lean against the pipe so that if water comes down, it goes here instead of going into your stove jack. That could be a thing. I'm not too sure about that. It's got this here, and this just appears to be a guy line. So there's one guy line there, it looks like. I guess that's what that's for. I'm not even sure. Oh, there are some instructions here that I'll have to read in the bag. So first look at the tent here. It's a thinner tent. It's nylon. It's not canvas or anything. It's got a waterproof rating of PU 2000. So I'm not sure what that means, but it's supposed to be waterproof. The seams look pretty good. There is seam tape inside the seams, it looks like. So that's awesome. We're gonna set it up outside and have a better look at it right away. Oh, and I found out what this thing is for. I guess you use it in conjunction with the rope. You put this where you want your tent. You put a stake in there, and then this rope has little loops. So you put that on the stake there, and then each one of these lines, you extend the rope out, and that's where your peg is supposed to go for the tent. I'll say I would probably not use that and just set the tent out in the area I want it and then peg it as I go along. Without that, seems like an unnecessary step. It's just hexagonal or whatever. I don't know how many sides this has, but you know, it seems logical to just lay it out and then stake it up. So I was just measuring out where I'm gonna put the tent. I'm just gonna clear out some snow here and put it here because it's about the only place in my yard that I can fit 13 by 13. Okay, so it's all set up. I'm filming on my phone right now because my camera has had enough of this cold weather. It's like minus 24 degrees Celsius right now. And overall, I'm really happy with the purchase. I think so far, I mean, I just set it up, right? I don't want to be one of those people who sets it up and says, this is amazing, it's the best. I mean, it feels like that, but I haven't really tried it out. I do want to check out the width here because it's supposed to be 13 by 13. And so I do want to check that because I'll say like, it feels smaller than what I expected it to feel. So that's the first thing. But when I really look at it, like there's still room for 2 cots here. The stove will go right here. So I got just shy of 13 feet. So it is as advertised. So here's the tent on the outside. You can see that it's got a skirting here that you can pile the snow on to keep the draft out, which is really good. And then we've got guy lines here. They're actually reflective. This is for the stove. If I can get it open, that is. Okay, hold on. Got it. Okay, so anyways, that's the flap. I'm not gonna quite open it yet, but that is tight. I felt like it was almost gonna pull off the stitching here. And there's the Pre-Self logo. Okay, so I'm just gonna interject here for a minute from a couple of days in the future from when I did the original tour and set up the tent, because there's a couple of things that I missed that I actually wanted to talk about, but it was really cold. I was probably rushing a bit, and now my camera's working better. It's a balmy minus 18 degrees Celsius out here, so feeling a lot better about that. So I want to show you the first thing. So the first thing I noticed is that this isn't very tight here, like it's very concave here, and I don't know if it's because the snow's piled up, but I suspect that the guy lines could be pulled out more, and that's one thing where if I wasn't in my yard I could stretch them out more and it may pull them. So I think maybe that's something, because this just impedes on the limited space you already have in the tent. And you can see that it's kind of like that all the way around. And let's be honest, it was my first time setting up a teepee tent, so the problem is probably mine. After tightening up the guy lines a little bit, all the way around the tent, you can see that it sticks out here a little more, which gives a little bit more space into the tent. Another thing I forgot to mention is the height. So this is 7.3 feet, I think it is. And I can stand up, I'm 6 feet, and I can stand up, and I've got, you know, lots of room, plus down here. And then up at the top here, there's a little hook where I can hook a light. So I really like that. You can see all the frost. It's really frosty. It's cold out here. A tent like this would be great for ice fishing too. If you're going out for the day, you just drill some holes, set this up pretty quick. Probably took me about 45 minutes to set up. But I mean, that was the first time. I learned a lot just doing it. So I'm pretty sure I could have this set up in probably like 20 minutes to half an hour. We'll say half an hour for sure. So there's actually another door back here, so you can have 2 doors if you want, and you can also buy an insert where half of this ends up to be screened for the summer and spring, which is probably a pretty good idea, and I might do that actually, especially like once the bugs come out and stuff, and having this tent if you're still in the time of year, early spring or late fall when there's bugs, but you know, you want to have the warmth of the hot tent and the stove to kind of heat you up. But anyways, that's the episode. Got the tent set up, so far I'm pretty happy about it. I hope this is helping you along the way. So the next episode we'll be looking at the stove that I got. So tune in for that one. Won't be too long. And then I'm going to put both the tent and the stove together in the yard here and test it out and see how warm this gets. See if I can get it nice and cozy. We've had some cold weather right now. Last night we went down to minus 29 degrees Celsius. That's it. Like, subscribe to see more episodes of this series. And remember the most important thing, folks, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.